Jackson Smith-Njigba, Garrett Wilson, Chris Olave, Marvin Harrison Jr. These are some of the most elite wide receivers to recently come out of Ohio State. But what if I told you there's a player that's supposed to be as good, if not better, than all of them? Viral sensation Jeremiah Smith is next in line for the Buckeyes, as he's already getting compared to Julio Jones without even playing a single game in college. The younger cousin of decade-long NFL quarterback Geno Smith is the #1 rated player in the class of 2024 and is ready to make an immediate impact on a title contending team. But most of you don't even know his full story because I searched on YouTube and couldn't find it, so I'm here to do everyone a favor. Let's meet Jeremiah Smith, Ohio State's next legend in the making. If you don't know who I am, I'm Saturday Shenanigans, and I post amazing college football content all off season long. Feel free to subscribe so you never miss out on another upload. This is the fastest growing college football YouTube channel. Jump on the bandwagon now before it's too late. Jeremiah Smith was born in Miami Gardens, Florida in 2006, a hotbed for great youth and high school football. He started playing the sport at only 4 years old when his dad, Chris, started throwing the ball to him. Smith was so naturally athletic that he could have played almost any sport and succeeded, but he stuck with football because of his older cousin that he looked up to, named Geno Smith. Yes, I'm pretty sure you recognize the name because Geno has been playing quarterback in the NFL for over a decade. During Jeremiah's early days of playing, Geno was in college tearing it up with West Virginia. Then by the time he was halfway through grade school, he got to see his cousin get drafted to the league. Their relationship was close, and seeing the success was very inspirational to a young Jeremiah, and he wanted to be like his big cousin too. From then on, he had his sights set at being the next great to come out of South Florida. Father Chris said that when Jeremiah was only 9 years old, he knew that he would find a way to be playing on Saturdays and Sundays at the next level. Although it took a while to come to fruition, this vision eventually panned out. And it all started when Jeremiah put his name on the map while playing his high school ball with Chaminade Madonna Prep, just a few neighborhoods away from where he was living. Chaminade is known as one of the better football programs in the state, with 7 alumni in the NFL, including 2 active players. Smith arrived at the school in the fall of 2020, where he played wide receiver on the junior varsity team. While he was talented enough to play at the highest level, for development purposes such as getting more reps, they kept him down. However, this would play huge dividends in 2021. By his sophomore season, he had grown more into his 6'3" frame, and he was a dangerous pass catcher. Jeremiah was the second leading receiver on the team with 667 yards on 31 receptions to go along with 7 touchdowns. Chaminade went 12-1 on the year, dominating everyone in the playoffs on their way to a 3A state championship, a game in which Smith had 172 yards and a score. During the summer of 2022, Jeremiah was going on a tour of the U.S., taking unofficial visits from top Division I Power 5 college football programs. He gained scholarship offers from schools like Alabama, USC, LSU, Georgia, Ole Miss, Oregon, pretty much any school, you name it, he was a 5-star recruit. If Jeremiah wasn't a big name already, his junior season of 2022 is when he put the entire country on notice as being one of the most talented wide receivers in the nation. At this point, he was 200 pounds with more strength than ever. His blend of size, electric speed, and great hands made him a once-in-a-lifetime freak. In 13 games, he had set career highs in everything: 58 receptions, 1,073 yards, and 20 touchdowns. In the Florida 1M state championship game, where his team needed him most, he once again showed out with the bright lights and posted 2 touchdowns on 7 receptions and 113 yards. Chaminade was yet again state champions of their section, and Jeremiah Smith was a Max Preps Junior All-American. Just a few weeks after the season concluded, on December 14th of 2022, he made his official college commitment to Ryan Day and the Ohio State Buckeyes. But all throughout the course of 2023, he kept taking visits to different schools, which eventually caused fans to suspect him to flip his commitment. This was an extremely controversial issue, which we'll get into in a moment. As if things weren't already spectacular for Smith, he went out for track in the spring of 2023 and took home the state championship for the 110 and 400 meter hurdles. It was just unreal. Going into his senior season, he was the #1 ranked wide receiver in the country for the class of 2024 and the #2 player overall. Not much room for improvement, but somehow he did. Jeremiah led his team to a perfect 14-0 season and a third straight title win while catching 88 passes for 1,376 yards and 19 touchdowns. He could do it all, getting some carries out of the backfield with a touchdown, a punt return for a score, and he even played defensive back to help lock down explosive players. He had one game where he put up 321 yards receiving, which is just ridiculous. Smith was an All-American for the second straight season and also won the Hall Trophy, which is awarded to the most outstanding high school player in the country, the equivalent of the Heisman Trophy for that level. Smith was reevaluated by recruiting services, and this time there was no one in front of him because he was unanimously the top-rated player in the nation. Remember, going into the early National Signing Day for the class of 24 in December of 2023, Jeremiah was committed to the Buckeyes, but of course, there had to be some drama. Schools such as Miami, Florida State, and Florida were all pushing hard for a flip. He had visited all of these schools multiple times a few months before, and in mid-December, Coach Cristobal, Norvell, and Napier all visited his home. Apparently, he was still open to hearing their pitches, and funny enough, Jeremiah was seen wearing Florida State football gloves in his state championship game just a few weeks prior. Was he trolling? Maybe or maybe not. Either way, it sparked an outrage from Ohio State fans on Twitter. He voiced his opinions about the subject, calling the Buckeyes fans crazy and saying the situation sucked. It sure wasn't looking great for Buckeyes faithful, but ultimately, on December 21st of 2023, Jeremiah Smith put ink to paper and signed his letter of intent to Ohio State. He said the main catch about OSU was their wide receivers coach named Brian Hartline, who was one of the best in the game at developing young talent for the next level. Most notably, he's coached first-round draft picks like Jackson Smith-Njigba, Chris Olave, Garrett Wilson, and more. Guys that I mentioned at the intro to this video. Jeremiah was not afraid to hide his intentions with the Buckeyes. After signing, he said, quote, "I'm coming there to be one of the best receivers to ever come through Ohio State. I'm coming in January. I'm definitely going to be there, and I'm coming to work. Go Bucks." Things are off to a sensational start for Jeremiah Smith in his short time at Ohio State so far in 2024, prior to his freshman season in the fall. Sources have been reporting that Smith was constantly torching the stellar secondary during spring ball. Head coach Ryan Day is impressed, saying that he plays the game the right way and that he's excited to see him continue to grow this year and beyond. Jeremiah is in an amazing spot, surrounded by one of the best teams in the country, a staff that knows how to get the most out of him, and a mentor in Emeka Egbuka, one of the best returning wide receivers in all of college football. Will Jeremiah Smith etch his name into Ohio State football history? Only time will tell, and just like you, I'm thrilled to watch how his story plays out. Alright, that was the longest I went without uploading. It was about a week, but it was for good reason. I was in the hospital in the ICU for about 3 days. I was not in good condition at all. I in fact posted on my YouTube community and I got a lot of heartwarming, sweet comments from you guys that helped me get through, so I appreciate it so much. But as you could see, we are good now. We are back. I got my color, I got my life, and we're going to keep pushing on YouTube. I mean, we're so close to something great. I can feel it. I want to keep going. I want to keep growing this family, and I am so thankful for all of you. Thank you guys so much for reaching the end of the video. I've been Saturday Shenanigans, your home for unfiltered college football content, and I'll see you guys soon. And this time, I'm going to stay safe. I'm not going to do anything stupid, all right? Promise, we got that.